The general theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning. It's Matt. Let's try again here to share the screen for the hashtag. I started it over. Let's see if we have it. See, it says there's an error. Well, the hashtag is person. Let's try this again. Yeah, we got to start over here. We might as well get our technical difficulties out of the way right away, right? Everyone, good morning. It's a Monday. That's got to be the theme for a Monday. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it can be. Hashtag person. Hope you all had a great weekend. So today, I want to start the week off really, in my opinion, really good and strong. So I have what I've compiled, and I've even compared it to other lists that are out there on the ether. In fact, I even referenced a book that I have, but Signs of a Quality and Honest Person. So a few months ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago already, maybe even more, when I was really first starting to, full-time go shiny brand, where I was doing screen printing, I was getting into it. I approached a guy in business that I've known for a very, very long time, probably at least 20 years. And if I thought about it, maybe even more actually, but at any rate, you get the idea. Very long time. So I approached him. I know that they do some different things like shirts and sweatshirts and a few other little things for their company. And I wasn't given the time of day, different things. I won't be really harsh about it, but I was kind of shocked about it. I wasn't able to even price anything for him or whatever else. So fast forward to just a couple of weeks ago, he actually approached me, text back and forth a little bit, and finally he got down to what he wanted. And that is he wanted my influence to work with, maybe work with is the wrong term, but talk to another business that he was trying to land as a client, that this would be a big deal for him. This would really help his business. And, as the story goes. So what do I do? So do I just simply tell him no? Do I simply say no because of our conversation and you didn't even give me the time of day 5 months ago? Or what do I do in this situation? I had to think about it a little bit. But then I thought about, so I was reminded of kind of what I look for in a person to just be in my circle at all anymore. The last couple of years, I've really, really tried very, very hard to really narrow that down and be very focused on what that is and what that looks like. I have, written them down, so to speak, in my notes on my phone. I've had some different notes around in notebooks or whatever. On just what I'm looking for in people that I'll, even call it fellowship with, just people that I'll sit down and try to have a cup of coffee with. And so I've calculated that all out. I've weighed it. I hope that this all makes sense, but what I'll do too is I'll post this maybe in the comments or something on what this list is. But I think it's really important that we all weigh and balance. I've talked about boundaries a lot, and how important they are. And so this is sort of my place and my boundaries. So what I did was I kind of went down a couple of things with this guy in a text, and I said, this is what I'm looking for in having any kind of either a business relationship or a personal kind of relationship with. And he fired back at, well, if you help me get this client, then I'll look at doing business with you. Full stop. I'm done right now. These if and buts and whatever else and negotiations. Sure, I need the business and things like that, but if I were to get the business in 5 months from now, what's he going to do? There's no loyalty there in the first place. So at this point, what's he going to do? Cut me off, not pay? All kinds of different things are running through my head. So let's go through this list before we run out of time on this wonderful Monday. I hope that I've painted that picture for you, and that's kind of the idea. But number one on my list is they don't replace reality with a caricature. Now, that's how I simplified it. Let's take Elon Musk right now as an example. We have a picture from both sides of the aisle politically that he is painted as a caricature. He's painted as someone who has really saved democracy, so to speak, or whatever, and you want to be hyperbolic over here with it, or you can be hyperbolic over here with it, and he's going to destroy democracy and all these things. And there's a caricature built of him on both sides of the aisle. Well, what's the reality here? Well, the reality is Tesla employs over 125,000 people as of December of last year of 2024. Now that's worldwide. I didn't look and narrow it down. That's reality. So another reality is that the caricature of painting him as evil is been that, let's burn Teslas down and paint swastikas on it and all that kind of stuff and whatever. That's very bizarre. Well, how about you build something better and that's reality. You don't like the product, okay, or do you not like him? I mean, those are two very different things. And that's the caricature, I guess, is what I'm talking about, is don't replace reality with a caricature. That's number one on my list of looking for and signs of a quality and honest person. They admit when they're wrong. It's hard to do, but they admit when they're wrong. It's really, really important to do that. We're all wrong at some point or another. Admit it, move on. They refuse to gossip about others. I've literally been sitting in rooms, or sitting in a spot having conversation in a room or two away where people were literally gossiping about me just being, 30, 50 feet away. And I'm just not going to do that. There's no place for that in my world. Am I guilty of it over the period of my life? Of course I am. We all are. But when you're doing things, that are just blatant and continual, that's kind of where I am at with it. Their actions always match their words. Now, always, I'm going to use always, and I'm going to use never coming up. And those are absolutist terms. And, we talked about what I think of absolutist thinking. So I'm using these words to make a point, and that is that, that's the goal, is to just really that their actions always match their words. One huge thing is that, I have a different kind of personality, and if someone is making me feel safe being myself, that's a really huge thing for me in a quality person. I don't want somebody to sugarcoat it. If I screwed up in their eyes, in their opinion, I need you to tell me. Like, I just need you to flat out say, have some empathy, sure, but, just flat out tell me, like, hey, you screwed up here. And then what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to just find out where the either misunderstanding was or whatever else. But that's extremely important to me. Consistently follow through with promises. It sort of ties in a little bit, but we make promises. My point of this is don't make promises lightly. And I'm guilty of it for sure. But I try not to make promises. I can say that, I'm going to work towards or whatever else, but try to be, someone that makes a promise to me that they follow through with that. The next is that they handle conflict calmly. right? It's always difficult to handle conflict, but if you can handle it calmly, that's a huge thing for me. And then, you know, if there's there's a whole list of things. So let me actually wrap up with this. A quality person, an honest person, in my viewpoint, is you tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And I mean that as, don't make a caricature of it. Don't make it, don't fill it with hyperbole or anything else that are colorful words or whatever. But, tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And then we can really build off of those types of things. So I'm going to put this whole list together in sort of a concise way. I'll post it a little bit later here in the comments. Gosh, I appreciate everybody in your messages and your encouragement. I've got some criticism over the weekend that, I'm evaluating. Direct messages are extremely important to me. And what I mean by that is, I always will look at them and I always will get back to you on them. Comments are really a tough thing for me because comments a lot of times, not that I don't try to look at them at minimum and respond back to what I need to, but comments are needed. They're very helpful, but there's something, for some reason, I've got in my head not to respond to comments all loosely, because in my experience with certain people, comments have turned into thumb wars. So if you want to get a hold of me, direct message me. I'll definitely, respond back at some point for sure. So let's see what the winner is. I didn't tell you, I guess. I just realized Monday morning getting off a little slow here, I guess. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the option of a Be Hope shirt, a Be Positive shirt. Now it's not all the shirts. It's one of. So Let's Get Toasted, or those are the three. So Be Hope, Stay Positive, and the Let's Get Toasted shirt. So those three are going to be your options today. So let's get in there. Let's pick it out and see where we're at. All right. Congratulations, Minnesota girl, who remains anonymous still. Thanks for obviously sending your information and getting that over to you. But I'll just send you an email here and figure out what exactly you want for the three shirts and what size that you need. So again, thank you so much, everybody. I hope that you all have a very blessed Monday. Look forward to seeing you here tomorrow morning at 6:30. And I tell you, I've just been I've been really laying out the program here. I've got like over 2 weeks so far of what I really feel are really, really powerful, good subjects. So if you disagree, let me know. Send me a message. Otherwise, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done. It's done.